Lineup rating is good for Falcons because that is very sound in the draft. But if you look at the Gaton, the Lapu, the Freya, the Baksha, I feel like Haji might have a difficult time here for the team fights. That him trying to escape and Falcons trying to give him space actually damages Falcons' chances in team fights in the long run.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, but I will not say impossible for Haji right here in game number 1. Aurora versus Falcons. I mean, the positioning of that feather airstrike, some people would say just go ahead and hide in the bush. Maybe you can get away with it. Throw away of maybe 3 salvos.
Easier said than done, Carl.
That's right, exactly. But, you know, I'm giving Haji the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
At least for this one.
Ogren and Haji now being a little bit more careful with their trading in the mid after some recent mishaps early on. Of course, seeing the Frey on the other side. Marco, just see what he can do to temper that.
Ooh.
Light took a lot of damage from Kyle, Haji, and Ogren.
You gotta acknowledge the fact that the Kalia helps Haji stay, you know?
Yeah. Gold Crab, if I'm not... Yeah, went to Super Marco.
Oh my God! Light gets taken down! Suddenly, from out of nowhere, with no battle spells used from Falcons.
I think none of us expected that to happen. Even our camera didn't really catch that.
I didn't see that trade going down. Maybe Light presses Revitalize, or even the Revitalize was not enough to help him survive. In the EXP lane, Flap's doing a good job of handling Edward. Yeah, we go back and restabilize after the trade in mid.
Yeah, restabilizing is very important, especially right now that we're all waiting for those level 4s, especially for Falcons here.
Kyle comes in, calls in Barbiel off the short end, and pushes them back. Again, 20 seconds off a turtle. He'll have it when the take happens.
Yeah. So Take's over right now for the meantime.
We'll get into position first. Edward not yet level 4. Flap's going to get there. They're going to get the EXP Crab. Last hit. Oh, good block. That was a timely block by Flap.
That was decent. Actually, yeah. And these small things will actually really add up over time. We'll see that happening on the bottom side of the map, though. It's a completely different story. Marco's having a rough time.
Yeah. We don't want to miss that 1-1. I think he was having a hard time, yes, but he punished Domikite enough to send him back.
Yeah, it denies him from being able to join. And look at how Haji even positioned in the right bush mid. He was expecting that Domikite would be rotating, but because of how Super Marco handled it, Domikite had to go back. But Domikite will make it here.
In comes Ogren, better airstrike from Haji. Repositions, it's still Edward. How the hell did he get that? Takes down Kyle as well. And they push back the rest of the Falcons to the nest. Aurora in the snap wins.
And pushing it back despite Marco being in the very prime position to actually take that attack. Very impressive. Edward really took it, and I'm looking for the retry. Where'd the retry go?
Yeah, it looked like both retries came out too early. There was still a lot of health at one point. I think it was around 700, 800.
In comes Light, taking care of Flat. Gets a kill.
Yeah, so this is what Wolf was saying earlier. Aurora are a very opportunistic team. Give them an opening and they're going to go ahead and quite literally dive under your turret just to go and grab it. So Falcons go for some counter jungling, trying to steal the Golem away from the Aurora side. Try to chase up Kyle a little bit in terms of the farm, but Light and Yue will be able to drive them back, but they still get the Golem. Edward takes a lot of gold though up top.
A lot of damage on the Kyle. He will be able to call in Barbiel. Save himself from the damage. Light is dropping. Flap gets taken down off camera. Open right in the face of Yue gets popped. And that was difficult. 2 free kills for Aurora.
Yeah, it's a lot of off-cam kills as well, I gotta say. There's a lot of kills happening here from unexpected places.
Yeah.
And very impactful to that.
Oh, Light taking care of the flanks.
We've seen this happen earlier.
Backing out. He has some support from Kyle, but I don't think that's enough.
Light and Yue have been controlling this game for Aurora. Light's been really maximizing the unbreakable taunts. And they're not afraid to trade. They're so aggressive with it, which is what you want to see when you're going up against a lineup that has a Farsa having to dance a weird dance in the map with managing minion waves in mid, trying to see if he can join. He's not completely connected with Ogwen.
Yeah, look at that Edward comfort on that Lapu Lapu as well, right? Right now, there's a lot to be had, or a lot to be desired for Falcons mid trio, but other than that, I feel like the side laners are actually having a pretty decent time for Falcons.
Except Flap. 2 deaths already.
Except Flap, yeah, sorry.
So he's deciding to cut. They're going to push up top. They're going to get a bit of gold there alongside Kyle, as they know that, okay, cross-map trade for Falcons Aurora.
Falcons have accepted the difficult truth that they cannot touch this turtle. They are protecting the purple just in case as well. And there's a whole lot of gold Kyle is getting on top lane.
So far, at the bottom side of the map, though.
Can Open get the perfect Tsunami Slam? They will give up the shields on the tier 1. And in comes the rest of them. Domikite survives, but only for a second longer. He gets taken down by Haji. Down goes Light as well. Falcons dogpiles on the front line of Aurora.
Flicker, feathered airstrike for the KDA machine. Capping off that damage, Light and Dominkai alongside the rest of Aurora get punished, and Falcons will be able to push Marco out of his lane, and he can now join the rest of Falcons for a full 5-man aggressive rotation.
For the looks of it, it feels like Haji will not play this Farsa in the conventional way, right? He's just doing it more like as a secondary artillery at this point. He's really relying so much on Kyle and Ogun to get something started first. And it's actually serving Falcon relatively well in that last one. I wonder if they can keep doing that, though.
Let's see. Dominkai, though, has been high impact on this fray early on. Aurora will still be able to get the push out in the bot. Oh, Kyle?
He does still have no ult. That's when it's cooled down. It's off of it. They do come on top of him. And they get Light. In comes Flap. AOG coming in, stopping the exit. Feather airstrike underneath tier 2. A lot of damage put onto the front lines of Aurora once more. Edward will survive off of the exit, the dash through the Landshaker.
As a 5-man unit, it feels like Aurora is just like a wrecking ball coming into this one.
I really thought that could have been way worse for Falcons, but it's because they were ready for it. Flap was already on his way down, Super Marco as well. Haji has been great with repositioning with this Farsa, and I have to give it to Ogun and Kyle. They are playing around Haji. Despite Kyle being, of course, the jungler, the Leomord, they're playing through the Farsa instead.
Yeah, this is very unique. Not as much pressure, I would say, on Kyle to get things started because, you know what, Ogun's very happy to take that mantle. But, again, Purify is just making it so hard for this Kalea to actually pop off as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, you want to stop the Freya, but it takes so much to get onto her. Dominkai takes that turtle. Demon Guy takes that turtle scot-free. 3 for 3, 100% for the Northern Lights. And the Falcons are still looking for that opportunity. It's a slow climb towards equal footing.
Actually, speaking, where's the catch going to happen here?
There it is.
There it is.
Gets caught out. Flickers back. The answer from Flap, wailing away, torrent form, looking for some crowd control, keeping them underneath tier 2. AOG, blood ball freeze is set. Lot of crowd control coming in. Down goes Flap. Where's the damage? Feather airstrike plus Kyle coming through, taking down Light. One more kill for Falcons. Edward goes down. They take down Kyle. Demon Kite jumps in. That holy shield pops. 3 for 2, still a winning trade for the M7 World Champs.
They are so tanky and they deal so much damage to boot. Falcons handled that extremely well, but Aurora, even though it looked expensive, they lost 2. They still got the turret, and that was still a heat check to Falcons, telling them you guys don't have enough damage to melt through the Baksha and the Freya.
Yeah, we posed that question earlier. What can they do to actually answer this Freya? It looked like they were doing it for the first part, but then again, that sustained damage coming in from Aurora is just unbearable.
Yeah.
There's not much they can do about it.
The Revitalize was clutch. Kyle's entry, the knockback was great, but then even right under their Demon Kite and Domin Kite together, it's a lot. Hence why this Freya has really been in everyone's radar ever since the M7 World Championship, and Domin Kite still continues to show his mastery with it. And of course, Demon Kite's comfort with Rora, with Baksha.
Oh, traction pulse from Yue. Flushing them out of that small brush. Falcons struggling to keep even this orange away from the hands of Aurora. Where's the retribution? Kyle gets it with the help of a momentum. A little bit of a room to breathe for Falcons.
I don't know if this is a silver lining or a very unfortunate reality for Falcons, but you guys see what I'm saying, right? They're pretty much handling the fights well. They're man marking. They're maximizing their crowd controls, their dashes, everything, but it just seems like they're getting lineup diff.
Are you saying that they're doing it right, but it's still not enough?
Exactly.
That's right. It feels like Aurora's just doing it like 20%, 10% better. At least, you know, they're doing the right things.
Yeah. And they're getting 100% of all the big objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All turtles, all lords for Falcons, and look at the level difference. They don't have enough damage just yet on Haji. He only has a glowing wand. Haji had to rotate out of lane a lot. And it also didn't help that, of course, all the objectives went to Aurora, meaning that even if Yue wasn't in lane as often, he was still getting the gold through the rest of the team.
Uh-oh. They're going to try to bear down on the Falcons, even underneath tier 2. AOG, Valkyrie's Ascent, cascading ults coming through. Better air strike. Flap very low. Flap gets taken down by Domin Kite. They do trade for Light. 1 for 1 so far. Super Marco wailing away at Demon Kite. Popping that Poisons. They're happy with the turret.
Yeah, it seems as much as you can do to try to answer individual people who are diving. What do you do if all of them are doing it at the same time? I think they don't really have the tools to do that.
That right there is a snapshot of where they are in this game, where Yue alone doesn't care that he's right in front of 4 members of Falcons in front of their base.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah, no fear. He knows that they can't engage on him. He knows that they can't jump on him. Again, Falcons handled that well, but it's the lineup diff. It's the Freya and the box shot together.
Is Marco not there just yet? Oh, that
Not
is the
quite.
Phantom Steed from Kyle calling it in to help defend against his Lord, putting that tier 3 up top, down to a third of its health. Oh, Flap looking to punish Dominkai from cutting through too deep as Demon Kai takes Kyle's lunch money.
Maybe that can change later the moment Marco gets a Malefic gun. He is starting to build up into it. He has a Fury Hammer locked in already with alongside the Swift Trinity.
Yeah, it should help out with the range. That means he can position himself a little bit further in the back to get distance between him and all the divers of Aurora. But yeah, it's the same old story for lineups that end up with the Baksha and the Freya together. It doesn't help that you also have the Revitalize on the side of light. Even Gacha has built in stupid amounts of regen and spell vamp through an enhanced basic attack.
It's just too much might be overwhelming here.
There's no dominance ice yet for... Oh, just when I said it. Okay, there it is. There's the dominance ice for Flap.
There you go.
Glowing Wand for Haji along with the Magic Lantern. Dominance ice for Ogwen. It's like they have the tools, but again, it's just the unfortunate scenario they find themselves in. It's still not enough.
It's kind of hard to use those tools when you have like a Valkyrie literally swinging in front of your face. I can kind of, you know, sympathize with their dilemma here. But at the same time, what are you going to do about it? Like, that's a big question. Like, how do you handle this guy?
I can't. I always ban the Freya.
You always
Jumps in, starts swinging. Oh my God, she's hot.
What do we do?
What do we do? You can't do much. The reason
Not
why,
really much.
the reason why against Alter Ego that pick was never given to RP again.
That's a painful part. Let's see if they can kind of remedy that. Again, one of the ways that you can do it is maybe catch him by surprise.
But he has a Purify.
That's how the Purify. That's what I was going to say next.
There's no surprising Dominkai.
Yeah, hey man, if Falcon somehow solves this, that's crazy. We're gonna have to break down how they do.
Falcons last season was the only one to come back from a 13,000 gold deficit.
That's true. That's also true.
They were the only loss of Aurora, so never count them out. Lord here, quickly taken by the Northern Lights. No dice because they will take it. And the answer, they pop Edward first. Then comes the rest of Aurora after Haji's better airstrike. They jump down on the Dominkai. Dominkai underneath 3. Then Flap falls. Light still wailing away. Kyle at half health does not have the Phantom Sting. Gets taken down by Yue. Dominkai finds him, serving up a kill to Yue. Double kill. More stacks for the mid lane wizard.
They are too damn tanky.
Too much. I also see the problem because Yue is flying alongside Dominkai. So if you're Flap caught in between that. Who do you pick? Who do you target?
Oh my
it's so
God.
hard.
Haji gets caught, and they're in the base. Aurora have a Lord marching through. That's all she wrote. Game 1 goes to Aurora.
At the end, the numbers make it look like a one-sided win, which it did. Falcons did almost everything right after some early game flubs. But the nature of the lineup that they were up against, the signatures and the comforts, RORA made that look too clean.
That was just way too clean for comfort here. Falcons, again, there's not really